Welcome to Persephone's Tavern.
Welcome back to Ivila. I am your trusty DM, Trevor Trent, joined as always, Hayden Poindexter,
Galil Oremender,
Austin Boyette,
Mystery Gal,
Thought we were gonna get you.
Nick Lloyd,
Uriel Gloomraven,
and Andrew Goebel.
As me, Ashford.
All right, welcome back. Without further ado, let's jump into a recap. Last we left off, the party, faced with the loss of Krisk, took the time to hold a funeral in an Alexandrian custom. They prepared a pyre and said their goodbyes, and continued to burn the laid body of Krisk Ul'Tarkas. As they did, they noticed an odd light descending from the sky, a meteor of some kind. Taking it as a sign in their moment of loss, they followed the path the star took to the ground and found an otherworldly crash site. Amidst a mound of raised earth, they discovered a strange, elvish-looking woman laying unconscious in the mound. She soon woke and asked about the Orii, the ancient civilization no longer present in this realm. But no sooner had that occurred when trailing kobolds attacked you, now led by a winged kobold wielding the shaman's staff. Fight broke out as the winged kobold called upon the smoke and transformed into a demonic shadow. With the aid of its pack, the kobold's demon nearly killed Galil, but eventually you overwhelmed the creatures. As the fight winded down, Galil retrieved the staff and decided to destroy it. With a thunderous blow from his hammer, the staff exploded in a black magical smoke, blinding everyone and racking everyone with pain. Already weak, Galil fell to the shadow and entered a dreamlike memory. A pleasant walk through Bahamut's spine, ending face to face with his mother at her old blacksmith shop. Resigned to this promise of death, he tries to speak. As he does, the word falls silent, and the shadow embraces him. A healing wave brings him back from the brink to a darkened world around him. Where we pick up?
I'll immediately start scrambling on the ground, moving my hands through the leaves and fallen debris, trying to find the head of the staff.
You don't find that immediately, but you do feel a touch of skin. It almost feels like you're touching leaves for a moment, but you feel this tender press of flesh, and you realize that somebody is sitting right next to you.
Are you back with me?
Who is it?
It is I, Elara.
Did you save me?
Not yet. We have to get out of this darkness.
I agree. I fear the relic that I destroyed may not be completely destroyed, and I need to retrieve it before we flee from this darkness.
Do you think that wise right now?
Is all I think.
You guys are shuffling among the area just where you fell. The rest of you are also shrouded in this field of darkness that extends beyond your senses and have no idea how much it's spread. What are you guys doing as you're scrambling to catch what's even going on? You hear the vague sound of muffled conversation that gives you at least a pause of relief as you know that this newcomer and Galil are still alive.
I walk towards the muffled conversation.
What happened?
Yell back, still very exhausted, almost as if I'm choking back on the smoke. I just yell out, "We're over here. We're safe." And I just try to call him over.
This darkness is probably going to follow this artifact. What did you go and hit it for?
To destroy it. Because that demon wanted it still. I had to make sure it was gone.
Here we are.
I said, shut up and help me look. I'm trying to find patronizing, I need help.
Still trying to find the broken staff.
Yeah.
He is.
It takes a bit of shuffling through the grass and detritus on the ground, but you do eventually feel the hard hit against this metal head that's broken off. The staff handle is...
As soon as I hit the head, identify.
This is or was a +1 magic staff, and you do feel this cursed aura on it.
Okay, I quickly shove it into my bag, and I say, okay, let's go. And I start moving just a direction.
Have we caught up to him by now?
Kinda. You know they're close, but again, you cannot see literally a centimeter in front of your face. So you're literally following sound.
This way.
As you say, let's go, I say, before we leave, we should link together. That way we don't get separated in the dark. We do not know for sure that there are no enemies in here with us.
Good plan.
I'm just going to keep moving forward. All cool.
I can't speak with animals.
I pull out a rope, and I'm just gonna one by one go to all the different talking voices, and I'll hand Like the end of the rope to somebody and then go on, hand another piece of the rope.
Aren't there like trees?
He walks, just started walking off. So you're reaching for Azimir as you're tying everyone together, and you're like, where he is out there.
All this, we were all in the same spot at that point.
I yell out for you,
guys
guys
were close.
I yell out for you
within
guys
10
to
feet
stop
of each other.
together real quick. I say, halt!
We're here. Where's Azimir?
Come together quickly. The sooner we get out of here, the better.
Are you trying to follow the voice or just walking straight?
I'll follow the voice. Best to be together.
You kind of zombie your way back,
Yeah.
get all together, and you guys use a rope to guide yourselves in a train. Who's going? Who's pulling on it?
I'll give the rope to...
Y'all wait.
Yeah.
I'll, in a vain attempt, I still will cast light on my weapon.
You don't see a light necessarily. As you guys are leading the pull, you walk about 100 feet before you finally feel like you've entered a place. And it's so jarring because normally this sort of pitch black forest would be just that, but you've been so adjusted to literally being blinded that as soon as you see even the slightest amount of interaction with light, it's like being washed with dark vision. But as you exit this realm, you see that you don't come out of the sphere in the same spot that you entered. So looking around, you're a little disoriented. Everything comes back, and you can turn around and see that it looks like a wall of smoke. Clearly, it is much more potent than just plain smoke. Would someone like to give me a survival check to try to figure out where you guys are?
21.
I got a 19.
Easy enough. You realize you come out of the spot in a different area, but looking around, Uriel kind of remember we had pretty noticeable fire up the hill. Not flame, but just the faintest flickering glow of light over the ridge.
Best get back to the camp. The horses must be in a panic.
They haven't been hit by the kobolds first.
Yeah, we definitely need to find a place to rest.
Who else is there?
It's just nobody.
I need rest.
As do the rest of us, it looks like.
We actually do have an extra bedroll, though.
And a hot dog.
Yeah.
That thing looks so like that's jerky now. It's like it's been roasting over that fire.
How far away is it?
Less than half a mile, but it's difficult terrain, but nothing you guys haven't can handle with enough patience.
Let's move quickly.
So you come back to the camp, and you see that your horses are still there. They seem a little antsy, but don't seem to be injured or anything.
Thank God.
But your campsite has been ransacked.
Oh.
Is the hot dog gone?
It's gone.
I want to
there was no one
investigate
else
and
here.
see what was stolen.
Roll investigation.
How are the horses? They just seem
17.
They're good.
they're good.
Doesn't seem like anything's missing.
They just messed our stuff up.
Our hot dog.
Either just did it to do it, or they didn't find what they were looking for.
Oh, were they?
Uriel, does this look like kobolds did this? Or was this some man?
Good question. I want to look around and see if I see any like footprints or distinct signs of...
You're looking around, kind of discerning what you can of the scene. You notice a distinct set of kobold footprints that are just all around.
Definitely kobolds.
Either you or Krisk take anything from their cave while you were gone?
Just a few lives.
Seems like they took one too.
I don't know. I don't know what they were looking for. The food's all here still. Very curious. I think we need to be on high alert tonight, or we may possibly need to move locations.
Well, even no matter where we sit, I still have my one trick. I can wake everybody up in case someone trips it.
I think we must rest here.
While I go about trying to restore some sort of order to the camp, picking up things that are knocked over.
Mostly looks like they just ripped out everything from your guys' backpacks that you left there. Made a mess of the place mostly, rifling through everything.
Stinking kobolds.
But yeah, you take about an hour, get everything back up. Everything seems quiet for that hour.
And are we just going to stay? Wait, oh, hold on. Who are you?
I'm Elara.
Elara?
Yes.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Elara. What's going on? You fell from the freaking sky.
I'm on an urgent mission.
So are we all, apparently. What's, you mentioned the Orii?
Yes. Do you know of them?
I do know of them, yes. A little bit.
Can you take me to them?
Like I had said before you had passed out that first time, you missed it by a couple centuries. They're long gone.
Long gone how? Maybe it is that you're just not aware of them.
That being said, that could be a possibility. But, I mean, we are built upon them as if they were a stepping stone in history that got us to where we are today. I mean, there was possibly Yuri culture around us, but I think they might be gone.
You speak disrespectfully of the Uri.
No, don't take it as disrespect. Rather than, I'm baffled that. Where do you come from?
As he says that, it is now that you realize that you can, for the first time since you've arrived, see the sky while looking around. You recognize aspects of the mountain silhouette in the distance. The stars that should be matched with peaks are no longer there. The sky is entirely foreign to you. You know, having spent so much of your time training and studying in the Astralarium, celestial bodies are always on the move. For you to recognize none of these stars, tremendous amount of time.
I'm too weak to deal with this tonight. In the morning, you'll just tell me all you know of the Uri, and then I'll be on my way.
Okay. Well, does that mean we're staying here for the night, gang? To be fair, I want to be as far away from whatever that black inky whatever it is as possible.
I believe you are also guided by the light. I saw you heal and illuminate out there, so we will try to give you sanctuary here, and I'll offer you any aid I can in the morning.
Fair enough.
Do the alarm thing.
Yes, that. Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and walk the perimeter where we'll be staying at and just kind of drawing a line with my finger the entire way.
I'll start undoing the bedroll.
You,
Stench is unbearable.
well, I was going to mention the odor. It's not so much that it's unbearable.
Yeah.
You're used to creatures in the wild, but you do get a nostril full of the person that this bedroll used to belong to.
It's lucky you had a spare.
Well, not lucky for him.
Go out in the morning.
I'll take a look at the fire. I've always been kind of fascinated with fire and notice what I assume are the remains of Krisk.
It's pretty unmissable. He hasn't completely burned away yet. You do see this charred body that is still rolling with fire.
How did he die?
Point up towards the ridge where the kobold cave is, and I say he went up there scouting out the kobolds who'd been harassing us on the trail, and he was overrun.
Kobolds.
So small lizard-like men we fought in the forest.
Brilliant.
Did he face an army?
Yeah, for a kobold, it was a small army, but it was more than he could handle alone. I look over at Uriel.
To be destroyed by such a weak creature. It's a shame.
I believe he would have felt similarly. I sort of walk over to the pyre and sort of hum like an old dwarvish hymn under my breath, and I want to spend the first 2 hours of the night sort of
From your youth?
Yeah, reflecting.
The rendition isn't great. You guys do vaguely remember it. You've heard other versions of it. It was a hymn.
I got 14.
So you've heard it in like religious context. Surprisingly, Elara, you do recognize the melody of the song he's singing.
Yeah.
However, anytime you've heard it from where you're from, it was sang in Elvish.
Well, I also did some peering into this realm. I kind of get up, shuffle over to him, obviously very weak and still, and I come near him, behind him. I say, once he finishes the tune, which I know where it ends, and I say, he must have been very near to you.
We walked a similar path, and it's always hard when someone walking your path falls.
I kind of gaze off in the distance. Yes, it is.
I've warned my other party members. I do not know how long you intend to stay with us, but there is a curse that has befallen me and my family. I believe it has something to do with this black fog and these demons, and if you are to stay around us very long, your life might be at risk as well.
Ever since I came to this realm, my life has been at risk. I don't understand how you bear this oppression, this weight. Do you not feel it pressing against you? Where I am from, I'm nearly weightless. I can almost fly.
I am used to carrying a heavy burden, I guess. I carry not only with me this shield, this hammer, this armor, but also a large amount of guilt. So forgive me if I do not feel the pressure of the atmosphere.
As much as I would like to help you, cannot be weighed down by such trivial matters. The mission I am on greatly trumps your needs. But in this weakened state, I do need help. So I will stick around for some time. But I will leave when I may.
Well, you're no captive, but like I said, careful.
I'll go back to bed, climb up in the stinky bedroll, and try to sleep. Watching the stars, pondering on what knowledge they may have hidden, and baffled by the fact that I'm seeing celestial bodies that I've never gazed upon before.
You wake up in the morning to the sound of birds chirping. Orange glow of the sunrise is just peeking up over the edge of the Silverflight Mountains. Sense that you've been, infiltrated throughout the night. Your alarm didn't go off.
Gods, I feel even further from the heavens than I did last night. Speaking of which, has there been anything strange going on with the stars lately?
I don't know the last time I gazed up at them, honestly.
Well, none of it's right. I've gazed into this realm many times over many years, and nothing is lining up. The stars are not at all where they should be.
Well, where do you think they should be?
They're usually up there.
Until one fell down, and then here you are.
I make it my business to know the heavens, and my calculations shouldn't be wrong. The only thing I can think is that many, many years have passed. Maybe there was some shift between my realm and yours. It wasn't how I expected to enter this realm, but it was the only means by which I had. I stand up and struggle. Just looks like everything I'm doing is a fucking struggle.
Baby deer kind of.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. Like, not necessarily so ignorant of how to move, but it looks like someone just turned the gravity up to like 3 times.
We're gonna, I believe it's best we start our trek to Bahamut's Spine. We've lost our party member already, and I feel like we need to finish this through. The urges that I have to go home are just increasing as we get here, but also so does the worry and the fear that whatever lays there is nothing remnant of what I remember. And, we heard back in Dragon's Breath that it's overrun with criminals, and, we've saw ourselves some sort of magic users based out of there that could transform a man into some sort of giant spider monster. So, but yeah, it's early in the morning, and I know we didn't wipe out every kobold in that clan, so I'd like to get moving sooner rather than later. As I said, you're welcome to accompany us, but you're welcome to go off on your mission as you see fit.
Well, Azamir, was it?
Yes.
I still have to grill your friend of everything he knows about the Uri.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let's do it on the road.
I want to attempt to cast a spell, but fail at it, and just look at my hand, and just, I feel like it should be obvious that
As you do that,
Yeah.
your crystal, I'm going to assume, is your focus, right?
yeah.
It's in your other hand as you're trying to channel the magic, and you see that the stars are spinning like a swarm of bees. It's not supposed to do that. There's supposed to be order in there. You're supposed to be able to kind of manipulate that galaxy you've put in there.
So as we start our journey, I want to split my focus between that, putting that in order, or at least attempting to study it, and 2, trying to look at every animal and all flora and fauna that I see and try to familiarize myself with it. Onward!
So
Yeah.
you guys are walking and talking. We'll see.
Yeah, walking and talking.
Yeah.
Are y'all familiar with this land?
Well, we have a map, but I personally have never been to Bahamut's Spine, but you...
I'm deeply familiar with this land.
What is your mission again?
My mission is to return home to Bahamut's Spine and clear my name and restore any sort of order that could be brought to Bahamut's Spine, which is my home. I feel like it's a pilgrimage of sort. I've been in Alexandria for 300 years doing the work of Andromeda, and I feel an urge to go home and right wrong that I've left for too long.
300 years. Well, forgive me. I'm still adjusting to all of this. So, Alexandria is a place.
Yes, it's a central location, very massive city, full of holy people, full of criminals. It's a mixing pot.
I see. Are there any Eladra in there?
Excuse
First
you?
time you're hearing that term.
Yeah. What is Eladrin?
Well, I guess that answers my question. Eladrin are what we call ourselves. We elves of the Fey Realms. But it doesn't surprise me that none have come here before. In my many years of living, I am the first that I know of to venture to this realm.
I say, is it because you're all so weak?
No, it is because we're all too busy doing important things.
Wait, so you are from the Fey Realm.
Yes, that is what you would refer to it as.
That's absolutely interesting. How would you know anything about... Well, I suppose you wouldn't, because you were very confused when you first got here. Well, of course, the stars are different. You come from a very different world.
For centuries, I studied this. I have it down to the most minute of error. Something is certainly wrong, or much time has passed. But if there's one thing I know, it's the stars.
Okay. And you... Back to what we were talking about the Uri. So this kind of kicked in my brain a little bit whenever we were mentioning going up to Bahamut's spine. We are fighting some of these, and if you know anything about the Orii more than I do, please, if you would just tell me what all of this would mean to you. And I kind of open up my grandfather's journal up to my page where I had written where the circles had appeared. Just kind of pass it off to you. Yeah, just start there. Don't read all the gobbledygook over here. Just look at this.
I'll take a look at it.
As you do, you see these symbols, and you recognize the script. You've studied this language, and in fact, it's not on your sheet yet. You should put it on there. You can read ancient Orii.
Okay.
A green symbol is a symbol that the script around it is hieroglyphic, but essentially it's in a pattern, sure, but something stands off weird. You can read it, but the glyphs are weird. You can tell there's some sort of other spellcraft at work with this, but you're not sure the source.
I kind of slow down to a stop whenever you hand me the book and read out the Uri symbols, and I want to say, you wrote these notes.
I had copied these off of another piece that we found.
Where?
Well, you see, there was this particularly larger fellow, body of a human, legs, and, well, I guess it also had the body of a spider. Probably about the size of all of us combined. We were in a mine shaft. He was pretty not well. If I could say, at the very least.
That would sound out of place even to me. Like, when you finish telling me where you got these notes, I'll read it out to you and point it out to you and show you that I can speak ancient Uri, and read that the one on the bottom left is essence, the one on the bottom right is influence, and the one on the top is sovereign. And point out that each of them does represent one of the tricordant, but there's something off about it, and I can't exactly place what it is.
You see, I had figured as much with the tricordant part, but this is absolutely fascinating. You can read this.
Yes.
You can read the glyphs and everything of almost magic itself, then.
Whatever magic it is, it's wholly unholy.
The W.
It turned some man into quite a beast that none of the tricordant would have.
No, they would have.
Recall that the man was, well, not just any man. It was someone that Claudia recognized who used to live in Dragon's Breath.
This was unsanctioned.
And if this is some blasphemous mutation or sect of the tricord, I feel like you need to get to the bottom of that.
But it seems to be tied up with Uri.
This would point out to a few things. That one, someone else knows how to read and write all this stuff, or the Uri are still around.
They said they were from Bahamut's spine, so
I guess we're heading in the right direction then for you.
yeah, the clue we have.
Well, the sooner we get there, the better. I will tell him some basic knowledge of the Uri as I knew them, at least upon observation.
Laura, you know that the Uri were supposed to still be a highly advanced magical society.
And I'm conveying this to all of y'all, by the way.
They had such an understanding of essence and influence of the natural world that they were borderline demigod peoples. The entire society was an ascended race, and they were essentially left here to safeguard the material plane, and it was supposed to remain that way.
They essentially were to this material plane what my race, the Eladrin, are to the Feywilds. Almost godlike. I myself was
It's
capable of
Nami.
many
I was about
different
to say, that
things.
seems like a big ego boost for yourself.
Well, I certainly possessed many different powers whenever I was on my home plane, but I basically a child on this plane, unfortunately.
Okay, so was there anything that you guys wanted to ask about the Orii, or any sort of trading of information as you guys are walking?
Yes, actually. So how do you know the Orii?
Not personally. I've studied on them a great bit. They were very, very important to this plane. But if everything you speak about them is in a past tense, it does not at all line up with what I was expecting. To be welcomed here by the Orii, to seek assistance immediately.
So are the Orii still present where you came from?
The Orii are from this plane.
Oh.
I've gazed into this plane over the centuries. I know much of the stars and of the Orii, but everything else I'm quite ignorant.
Okay, well, I'll let you know. I haven't seen Orii in 400 years. So, you may have missed your mark by quite a bit.
How old are you, Galil?
400.
We'd better hope I didn't miss my mark by too much.
How old are you?
By your reckoning, probably 360 years old.
Well, you have great moisturizer. So why do you seek the Orii?
Strange portents. Readings in the stars. It does not bode well for anyone, my plane or yours. Beyond that, I'm not able to divulge much.
So, strange readings brings you to Bahamut's spine, where you mentioned multiple times that this mountain is cursed. This is all lining up very fascinating. I don't know about you guys.
I say, well, if you're scared by what the stars are showing you, wait till you see one of those spider monsters.
Believe me, I hate spiders. They were absolutely...
Well, I hope to regain some of my original strength before that time, but it will take much stargazing. Usually I have many tens of hundreds of years to sort through something like this, but time moves so strangely here. These happenings are all coming so fast, or perhaps have already happened so fast. It could be that everything that I have heard has since passed.
I say, well, there may be one silver lining. Bahamut's spine definitely has some beautiful bluffs for stargazing. If it's not overrun with hostiles, that is.
Do you stargaze yourself?
Not anymore. I mean, I think everyone stargazes in their youth, but...
Just as a casual kind of thing?
I think we all wonder, how much is out there.
Much of my youth was spent more looking at the stars than on the ground that I walked on. We usually spend the first 100 years of our lives looking up into the heavens.
Straight up? Must be hard on the neck.
Very
Strenuous.
As you're walking and talking, the path begins to take you through a choke point, and as that happens, you feel most icy cold air. Really feel the chill.
Me being a poor little spring flower.
You feel it. You are not a winter Eladrin, not your season. And it is summertime here, but as you're climbing up this mountain, even you would have anticipated that it was going to get cold.
Mm-hmm.
Feel the bite. Uriel, you also too feel this biting cold reaching your bones.
I, as we're walking, just press my hand against cold stone. It's sort of refreshing to feel this breeze again pass over me. I want to pull out the staff and see if I could use my stone cunning to determine the origins of the metal.
Without a doubt, this is the exact same metal that your shackles are made of. Found these shackles in a cave system not far from your town. You still remember vividly where the entrance of that cave.
There's something about this metal. I've seen it before. I've seen it recently. I haven't seen it in Alexandria though in 300 years, and it's strange to come back here. And I know that the blacksmiths around here don't use it in weaponry or in armor, so if it has some connection to this curse or this demon that we saw, I think I need to get to the bottom of that, and then I just stow it back into my bag. the sigils that we found, and just sort of the bastardization of the tricord that I've been seeing going around, and just noticing similar like blasphemous notations to everything.
You know, Krisk once called it a religious site.
What does that mean? It's kind of blissful, and you're not sure what he's talking about, because that statement is completely out of context.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are many religions in this realm. Not all are good. I do feel, the people that we've been encountering are devout in their beliefs. So, if they're backed by some darker deity, some entity, could be a very powerful force to be reckoned with if it's enough to cause so much worship amongst even kobolds and humans alike. So,
Well, they were in possession of this seemingly inert metal.
didn't seem very inert to me.
Just don't go hitting it again.
I mean, is it tapped out? Can it do it again?
I identified it, and while it does appear to be broken, there does feel to be some sort of heavy curse still associated with it.
All metal is foreign to me.
Well, this metal,
Is it-
all metal is not foreign to me, but this one for sure is.
Wait, real quick, that's interesting. Is there no metal in the Feywild?
It's not that it doesn't exist, it's just my kind does not use it. We like to stick with what nature provides for us.
I suppose that's why colloquially they'd be known as the living wood.
Yes, exactly.
Does metal not come from nature?
Well, yes, it does. It is from nature, but it is not living. I just have no connection with metal. I cannot wield it the same way that I can pieces of the living wood, or perhaps even wood from this realm once I learn its ways. I'm gonna have a lot of opportunities, it seems.
Oh, I mean, this isn't like this everywhere.
Thank God.
But it's fine stone around here. Beautiful.
It's nature. I mean, it provides for us. We use it to the best of our abilities.
Well, the creatures seem to be making their way, regardless.
Long and winding road.
As you guys move through this crevice, you see that the pass eventually links back up with the main road. And from this crossroads, you look around at your environment, and you know that Bahamut's Spine couldn't be more than a 4-hour walk from here.
First time, immediately a wave of excitement washes over me, but only for like a half second before an incredible amount of dread falls on me. For I know that whatever we find there is not what I'm hoping.
So the rest of you, Azamir, Galil already feeling quite confident in this air, and then Uriel, even himself, begins to kind of get used to it and warm himself up internally, are moving quite nicely.
I take a swig of this whiskey I've got.
However, Elara, at first, the biting cold was freezing you to the bone and affecting your ability to use your hands. Now you feel a wave of euphoria wash over you as you are beginning to succumb to early stages of hypothermia.
We have to stop. We have to make a fire. I'm not going to survive out here.
What?
Aren't you just wearing like a leaf crop top?
Yes.
Yeah, we should probably get you like a coat.
All true.
Yeah.
But we have a map.
I immediately get in a bedroll and command people to start making a fire.
Why don't you get up on that horse?
Oh, yeah. But hold on, let me see if I can figure something. I think
Not going to save me from the wind.
Yeah, those should
We need to stop and make a fire.
Correction, you need to stop and make a fire.
And before you do that, you need to stop ordering people around.
I do stop at like a tree. I'm assuming I can find a spot where there's either a dead tree or a living tree. I'm not going to waste any time. I'll cast Flaming Sphere, knock it into that tree, and set that bitch on fire. Grab the bedroll and just like huddle up pretty close
Wow,
to
there's
it.
so much for that whole like.
Galil lets out a little chuckle at that.
You see that she's doing all this, and as she blows that tree up, before she gets over there and starts producing the sphere, you see like her hair, it's all swirled in layers like a rosebud, is like actively gathering frost like a winter morning. And you see, like, she's shaking, and then she casts the spell and blasts it into the tree, and desperate for that warmth, just curls up next to it, inches from that fire.
Jesus. Oh, well,
But you feel those symptoms start to wash away from you.
Okay.
While you're huddled to the warmth, you rack your knowledge of the natural world. Think of something from your world that was adapted to the cold. You think of it, and it's not something that you feel great about turning into. It's not particularly useful, but it is definitely meant to live in a tundrous environment.
Yeah. I can change my form.
If you want to use a beast shape to turn into this fey creature,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Feyish beast creature.
Yeah, I'll do that. That would, yeah, absolutely.
So as she does that and huddles up for warmth and gathers her thoughts, you all see as she begins to transform, shrinking in size drastically
Snow badger.
into this very small fluff of white fur. So fluffy and spherical in shape, you're not even sure it has legs. And it's just this little white blob of fur.
Can all Eladrin do that?
Curious.
I just walk over to you and just like climb up your leg and
You're some sort of rodent.
yeah, just
Beneath this puff of fur is a very guinea pig-esque body.
just climb up your tunic, pop out of your lapel.
But it's something different about it. Like, you have little nubbins of horns, like antlers, even though you're a little guinea pig.
It's completely alien to y'all, of course.
Never seen a creature like this at all. But it looks fluffy, and it looks quite a bit warmer than it was.
Kind of like talking to you, but not looking down at you, as my chin would crush your skull against my chest.
Just squeak.
Can all Eladrin do this? Interesting. I think we should press forward.
I think we'll be able to make a little more distance now that she won't be whining so much.
Yes. Can she still understand us?
That's what she bites you. You guys continue on through the blistering cold. Wind begins picking up violently, blowing snow from the drifts higher up the mountain down to you. As the flurries begin to hit your face and melt to your body warmth, you follow the main road until you see a shape in the distance, completely grayed out from the snow flurries. Galil, you still recognize the weathered facade of the gate to Bahamut's spine.
Look at my pace and say, we're almost there. Steady yourselves. I do not know what we will find.
You arrive at a swinging gate. It is currently closed and guarded by two men in poorly matched armor. One is a human and one is an elf. See that the gate house is particularly tall. It's got a very similar vibe and purpose that the gate in Dragon's Breath did, except for this one is literally like a barn door. It has a hinge on it, and there's a long crossbar that's shut.
Do I recall there being a checkpoint here ever?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is the main gate into the city.
Okay. I approach. I cast light on myself so I'm more visible on my armor.
Done, and you start to kind of glow like a ghost, and
And I approach and say, hello. We need passage through to Bahamut's spine.
as you do that, and they kind of flinch to the light first. They say, "Oi, you, state your business. What business have you here in Bahamut's spine?"
Hey, I'm coming home. From Bahamut's spine, and I'd wish to return to see my home.
Elf starts to laugh. A dwarf in Bahamut's spine? You have to be kidding me. Well, who are we to stop your business? You guys mind yourselves in the city? You see, he says that, and then the human says, "Over there!" And then another guard on top of the rampart starts to crank, and you see this chain lift the deadbolt out of the way.
Pass through.
Very nice.
Town of Bahamut's spine. Once a mecca of dwarven craft and culture, this secluded mountain town sits within a decayed foundation. Centuries-old castle, once called Krisk Bastion. Crumbled walls wreathed in burly overgrowth and hardy roots of trees hold the memories of the eastern border wall and their commitment to protecting all the borders of Ivila from outside threats. Today, those memories lie buried beneath all but forgotten tragedy in the passage of time. Life still exists here, but it is isolated, disconnected. You guys move through the gate. The human guard speaks up and tells you, you guys are planning on staying a while, you guys should get set up at the Opal Claw Manor. They'll get you all fixed up. It's that tall one over there, you can't miss it. He points out to this large building in the distance.
I say thank you very much for your help and letting us in so easily. Hope you are able to get out of the cold soon, friend.
Yeah, he kind of chuckles to himself. The elf doesn't respond, but the human says, "Yeah, I suppose that would seem the case. A lot of rumors about this town, but trust me, friend, you're in a safe place."
So, this is it then.
Is it any warmer in here at all?
No, not really. I mean, the walls are keeping the wind down, but it is still very cold, and it is still snowing.
Is it like this all the time? Or?
Now, that
Nice, isn't it?
something to notice, it's not sticking. This is just snow being blown down from the top of the mountain. It's still warm enough that snow won't stick, really, but everything is kind of getting wet, like a rain, because of it. And so the streets are kind of caked with mud. Galil, you remember this main path from the gate down through the street would have been paved with cobblestones. You feel the strength of the cobblestones, but have been long since covered with centuries of dirt and whatever else.
Well, as much as I'd love to get to the inn, perhaps maybe we should find some more suitable clothing for those who might need it. I do not mind a heavy winter jacket here.
Might be a good idea.
Well, maybe the inn's the only current business we know of that will let us in. Maybe we can ask for directions to a general store from there.
Well, I suppose we'll go ahead and make our way there then. Is this, I suppose, I keep asking questions, you haven't been here for 300 years?
Yeah, I know none of
Sorry.
these businesses.
As you guys walk down the main street into the little neighborhood where they pointed out the manor, you notice that all the buildings here are either ramshackle and built from not great wooden materials, and some stonework. There's some masonry going on, but nowhere near what was going on when you were here. This isn't dwarven craftsmanship at all. They're either making these houses out of scratch, very peasant hut quality, or they're renovating old structures that were there from your time.
But you see like remnants.
You do see some remnants of shells of buildings that they've basically just built on top of the foundations, layer by layer for 300 years. And it's just it does feel very alien because you see this shadow of what it used to be, but now there's just this dreary layer on top of it, made all the worse by melting snow and gray skies. And as you're moving through, the people seem poor. They don't seem necessarily wary of you, but they seem like the sort of folk that have problems that are too big to worry about strangers. And so they seem to go about their days just giving you a side eye, but not engaging beyond your own interaction. And something you notice most of all, Galil, is that you do not see a single dwarf here.
I reflect on the kindness that the man at the gate showed me and wonder if the curse that may have befallen this land was just possibly abandonment, and if I didn't help in that curse as well, because so far I just see people struggling. I don't see demons.
You come to this very large building, and right away you can tell that whoever's in charge of this place, funneling a great deal of wealth, is very well kept. Grounds are clean, albeit muddy. And the gatehouse in front of it, which is just this small portcullis with a steel gate across it and a little small shack next to it, has just a kind of, say, dapper, but he's got a nice set of clothes on. He's wearing this kind of buttoned up shirt and a nice pair of pants, a little bit step above where the peasants are down on the main street. He's just standing in this small little, 2x2 little booth that has 4 windows on either side of it, right next to this gate. Beyond it, you see well lit up manor house with windows, perfect, immaculate glass. And you see silhouettes of people inside going about their business.
Oh, there's a guy in a window, basically.
Mhm.
Say hello. Me and my party are rather weary from the travel. Do you have room for us to stay?
Oh, yes, sir. There's always room at the Opal Claw Manor. Newcomers will want to speak to Dina.
Perfect. Can you direct us to her?
Sure. Just right up the stairs beyond the gate. Head on inside. You'll see a reception desk.
Thank you.
I'll pop out of my animal form, my beast form. Pop back into my Eladrin form.
I would like to talk again.
That does cause some side eye. Like, everyone that witnesses that does like that.
Oh, I need to tell you about some of the things about magic and stuff later. The rules and how people kind of view it.
You're going to teach me about magic.
Not about magic, just the etiquette of it.
We'll also buy you a nice jacket if you watch your attitude.
Oh.
Right through there. Saying that, he pushes the gate open with a loud screech. And you see that the grounds are really nice. There are trees there, but they're completely barren from the cold. But other than that, the grounds are well kept. The grass is kept low. There are actually like hedges that are trimmed. You walk up these stairs that are just a pretty standard front-facing facade of the house with columns around the front door. Walk up and push the door open with this subtle squeak. And instantly you're flush with this sound of activity. You hear a light music in the background. You hear the timbre of an active bar.
Smile. Cross.
What is like basically a lobby of like a pretty nice hotel. It's a little like backwoodsy. You can tell that they've had this building for a long time. But you would look around and see the activity and place the amenities no worse off than anywhere in a capital city.
Is this the place you were from?
I'm from this town, but it seems to be that everything that I know has crumbled to waste, which I had thought as much, but it's definitely sad to see.
You're very much different than the inhabitants. Much shorter.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I don't know why all the dwarfs have fled Bahamut's spine. Possibly for similar reasons as myself.
Was she your niece, cousin? Who was she?
Niece.
She was your niece?
Mhm.
Claudia? Was she
Cousin. She was your cousin.
cousin? Okay.
Second or third cousins.
Was she from up here originally as well, or was she always in Dragon's Breath? You had more conversations with her than I.
Yeah, from what I heard and from talking with her, I don't know if she'd ever even been to Bahamut's spine. I think she was aware that's where her heritage was from, but from what I'm picking up, I think her family is long gone from here, and I don't know if she was ever here at all.
Okay, very well.
But we should find Dina and see if we can get a place to stay, and then after that, I recommend we all get a big drink and relax.
I would not mind a warm beverage.
Warm beverage.
Uriel takes another drink of the whiskey. I could go for a drink.
As Galil's looking for this Dina, Uriel's like smelling the alcohol in the air. He kind of like a 1930s cartoon character, just kind of
Thought it
floats
so
on
hard.
over there. You approach this long reception that's set up underneath this kind of low ceiling. You can tell there's definitely like the next floor up is above it. And you see this stair that goes up and around over the top of it next to the bar that wraps. You see these long wooden bar stools that go all around it. And sitting at this edge of the desk, I kind of misdescribed that. One side is blank for the reception desk, and then there's a partition wall, and then there's a bar that wraps around. So while Uriel and Elara are walking around the corner there, you guys walk up to the reception desk, and you see this mid-20s, maybe low 30s halfling woman. She's got long, straight black hair, a very nice doublet, and like almost uniform. Like it looks, you've seen other people with similar attire in this building. And she kind of looks at you, Galil, and she says, Or the stars, a dwarf in my establishment.
I say, yes, the kind guard at the gate directed us here. I'm looking for a place for me and my party to stay, and as well as possibly a stable for our horses.
Well, you've come to the right place. Opal Claw is always welcome to travelers.
I do notice that everyone here is shocked when they see a dwarf. Do people here know that this was once a dwarvish home?
Oh yeah, old news that. There hasn't been a dwarf in these parts for 200 years. My history serves. Of course, I spend more time here than I do in a book.
I say, well, that's definitely sad, because I had hoped to maybe possibly find some of my family here. You're certain that there's no dwarfs left in Bahamut's spine?
I mean, not to be morbid, I've not ever seen any, but I'm sure there's still all the old ones buried up in the cemetery on the north end of town.
How long have you been gone?
300 years.
300 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they said there hasn't been one for around 200?
Based on her recollection.
Right.
But
She's 20 or 30, yeah?
Yeah, she's
It's just somewhere around mine. A little sprout.
Well, thank you for that information. How much would it be for 2 rooms and board for our horses?
If you guys aren't too concerned about being down the hall from one another, I can get you guys set up today.
We can manage.
Yeah.
It'll be fine as long as we're within the same hall.
I think we've been incredibly close for some time now. Some space might be good.
Charges you a standard rate for a room.
You handle one house, I'll handle the other one.
Probably what? 10 silver?
Okay.
Per. So yeah, 20 silver.
Pop a gold piece up on the counter myself.
Before I forget, she turns around and she goes to this like pegboard behind her. She grabs 2 keys, hands them to you. And she does like hands them to you, and then she crisscrosses her arms, and this one's 67, and she hands it to you.
I hand you the key and I say, why don't you go meet with Elara and Uriel while I go take these horses around to the stable?
I assume we'll probably be staying down in the restaurant and bar area.
Okay, great.
I'll save you a seat.
I head out.
Split up. Go around the corner, Azamir. Elara and Uriel, you guys walk into this busier side of this lobby, as this bar is pretty rowdy. It's getting towards the end of the day. So as you come around to the corner, you see that this little section of the building opens up pretty wide. There's like a little catty corner section where the atrium is real tight, and there's opening that's on the diagonal there, like both corners basically, and it opens up into another chamber that's kind of sharing that corner. And as it opens up, you see that it's got like a mead hall. It's got multiple tables where it's all sorts of folks that are enjoying a meal right now. You see a half-orc is running the bar. As they're all eating and browsing with one another and enjoying their downtime. What do you do?
I go up to the half-orc and I say, hey, it's been a long day. I could go for some meat and maybe a mutton if you've got it.
No problem. We got 3 silver.
I hand him 5 silver as a tip.
Yeah, he hands you this very large piece of meat on a bone, on a wooden plate, and a large growler of mead.
Very nice. Yeah, I look over at Elara and I say, are you gonna get anything?
I have no money.
Oh,
I assume
you're one of those.
I've seen you exchanging a currency that I am unwinds to do.
You got metal currency.
Yes, the metal currency.
I say, would you like something?
Water will be fine.
You don't eat food?
Food would be appreciated, yes.
Order another meat and mutton.
Okay. Just like before, 3 silver gets you this honking leg of something.
I give him 10
Frothing growler.
I give him 10 silver in total and tell him to keep the change for his fine service.
To you, it seems like a perverse use of metals.
Yeah.
To have stuff that is literally on the ground.
Yes, right.
And before we sit down, I say, any interesting news or...
Kind of like licks his tusk, looks at you. Oh, you look pretty interesting.
'Tis true. If only you knew the stories.
Got your food in my ear. A long night.
Is indeed. I should tell you sometime about the stories of the Red Mass, but I am, indeed on some sorts of a quest here. And I go into detail a little bit about, like, the half-orcs that Krisk and I were after, just to see if I hear any remnants of news about them. I traveled with a half-orc recently. We were in search of a party. Were they half-orcs or were they full orcs? I asked them about I said they were orcs, and I thought maybe they would be somewhere in these parts.
You see, when you say orcs, there's a flash of fear in his eyes. Some weight of some distant trauma in his past. Clears his throat. No. None of them in our region. They follow the gods for that.
Yes, quite lucky. I just continue eating my food.
I mean, mine as well.
Casimir, you walk up and you see both of them.
Hey, guys. So we got rooms. I have one. Galil has the other key. So we'll be bunking a little bit. He's taking the horses around the side right now. What are you guys up to?
What is this drink?
You like it? It's good, isn't it?
It's not very tasty.
Oh, but the honey adds so much taste.
It does. I can taste the notes. It reminds me of the wild waters of the Yukich.
Yes, it's a magic drink. The more you drink it, the better it tastes, actually. I look back at the bartender. 2 more.
Delightful.
He drops them down. He slides them to you with a slosh, and he says, 2 silver.
I hand him 2 silver.
I'll like see the bartender come around. He's like, can I just have whatever everyone else is having? Same thing. Put the money on the table.
He got the original.
All right.
I don't eat too much.
I hate to say it, but it's strange to think that the closest I've felt back to my home realm has been indoors. The nature of this world is so strange to me, but these times do remind me of the gathering halls when we would feast as one tribe.
Nature can definitely be a harsh and cruel mistress. There is plenty of beauty in communion.
I think these drinks are just affecting my mind.
You guys have both had an arduously traumatizing pair of days for your own separate reasons. But in this moment, it doesn't really feel like it matters that much. You feel this weight lifted.
I fell from the sky.
Like, what the fuck is up with that?
It's true, but at this moment, you almost feel like you could laugh about it.
Yeah, and I do.
In this brief break of brevity, I decide the lighthearted mood and all the people around and everything. I pull out my game set that I have of a pack of playing cards. Start shuffling them around, eyeing around,
3 Dragon Annie.
seeing if I see anybody that might be into a wager or a game.
You actually see 2 different options. You see a group of pretty rowdy-looking dudes of various races, wearing patchwork light armor, all gathered around, carousing and being rowdy as they throw dice. On another table, you see a figure that seems quite content to sit at this table alone. He is cloaked to the point that you're not even sure what race he is, and is slowly puffing on a pipe, long, thin pipe, and is currently contemplating moves on a board game.
Curious. I go over to the man playing the board game. I say, "This is intriguing. What game is this?"
Kind of looks at you through a plume of smoke coming out of the end of his pipe. You can see faint yellow glowing eyes. Old dragon chess. I'll teach you how to play.
I sit down at the table.
Yeah,
I say,
chess.
I am always interested in learning a new game.
Kind of deceived, Nick.
No, it's dragon chess, bro. That's cool.
But chess is already so cool, and then you add dragons in it, or you...
So, you sit down at the table, and he starts kind of going through, kind of basically plays a practice, kind of shows you how all the pieces move as you take turns for a few rounds.
I want to listen intently and make mental notes to everything he's saying.
So as you're explaining it, you feel like, okay, I've got a pretty good grasp on this. Shows you all the rules, and you guys begin a game in earnest. He starts out, very quickly you realize this guy's not going to pull any punches. Told you how all the pieces move. And he is almost arrogantly banking on you having your own sense of intelligence, being able to handle that.
I mean, this guy walks around with a chess set.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of myself, actually.
And so he starts
I've got a chess set on me almost at all times.
and the whole time he's got the most sinister poker face. You almost dreaded the idea of you having asked him to play your game because he's staring at you with these glowing eyes through this field of smoke in his face. And he's just so confidently making moves. You begin playing back and forth. Get to about the halfway mark. You realize that things are starting to turn. He's got you on the back foot strategically, and if things stay the way they are, you are going to lose.
Yeah.
So you take your time and focus, and just try to remember what he told you about all the pieces, about what the ultimate goal of this game. And as you're seeing it, you realize that he's left an opening on his weak side, and begin placing the moves to put him back in a less favorable position. You guys go back and forth. This game has taken damn near close to an hour. The board is more and more bare with each turn. And as you look into the board one more time, kind of assess where you're at, you find a final opening in the game. And his eyes flash at you, and there's a puff of smoke. He just says, "Fun. You're an astrologist."
As are you, it seems. That was a hard-fought game. Much appreciated, friend. I will remember this kind gesture. And remember the name, Uriel Gloomraven.
I'm known in these parts only as Fox.
By this time, Galil is back at the bar and is drinking a lot.
I feel like I'm sloppy too.
Orders 3 beers. He says, right out of the gate, he said, I want a beer for Krisk, and a beer for the dwarves' homes that appear in shambles all around us. I just fucking... I see, I look over and I see Elara kind of sloppy. I see Azimir enjoying a mutton the size of his head, and...
Oh, no, he's right.
Yeah, Uriel playing a game, and I can't help but smile a little because of all the stuff we've been going through over the past couple of days. It's nice to see people just enjoying themselves, even for a moment.
While you're looking around, you're taking all this in. While everyone's distracted, Galil, you hear the bartender, who had moved away as everyone had been served and was minding his own business. You hear suddenly he goes, "Oh, you get the hell out of there! What the fuck?" And he starts like swatting at something in the corner. And you see, first you see, but eventually Elara and then Azimir see a stoat jump up out of the boxes and start running across the bar. It scampers across Azimir's plate, looking at you, releasing this very violent, and then it keeps running, and you see it very wildly runs and starts darting between people's feet. It was flying out the front.
What exactly is a stoat?
It's a weasel, yeah.
Just do it right.
I mean, it looks like Niles.
Was that Niles?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of stoats. Do most stoats look alike? Maybe.
I did. Yeah, look like
Pretty much.
I guess I'm just not a stoat guy, or that was Niles. What the fuck just happened?
I look around and I don't see them.
Where did the stoat go?
It basically ran off the bar and ran out the front door of the building.
Yeah, no, can we...
By drunken stupor, yeah.
Okay, you go.
Can't speak with animals.
I mentioned chasing as far as the front door.
I give him.
That cold hits you.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that. You get to the door, you push it open, and it's blistering cold, and you look outside.
Actually, you know what? Instead of speak with animals, I will turn into a stoat.
Okay. Again, everyone kind of gives... They were already wide-eyed, those in the vicinity that saw this thing running across. There's still plenty in this hall that have not noticed and are going about their business. But those right by the bar all saw this weasel run out. And they saw you, who's already kind of half drunk and halfway through an enormous amount of meat, stand up suddenly, look with a live action, and run and morph into an identical creature. And everyone just kind of goes, "What is going on around here?"
I say, see? All stoats do look the same.
I thought you were going to talk about that.
I thought you were gonna talk to her.
No, you see...
Well, that was the plan, but there was just a stoat.
You got a full mouthful of meat.
I mean, what can I say?
Stoat now.
I don't know where to go at this point. Does she even know? I didn't even tell her what rooms we would be staying in.
Yeah. So I run out the front door and I just want to start screaming, "Hey, come back!"
Here with this wash of cold again.
So, who we bunking with tonight? You and me again?
That seems safe.
All right.
That seems safe.
Easy enough, you run out there dodging the feet of people coming in or out of this building, this business. You look around and it's tough to see him at first, but you do catch the side of this stoat and you see it's running down the stairs towards the gate, and for a moment it kind of veers off course and then starts to buck wildly like a stallion before getting back online and running towards the gate again.
What? You heard me, motherfucker. Them books like stallions. It's a weasel. Okay. No. What did I? It bucks like a weasel.
There's Jimmy the Stone Ryan Steinman.
All right. Jimmy the Stone Ryan Steinman.
Maybe he's not imaginary.
All right. So I will pursue it.
This is the best callback so far.
All right, you chase it around the corner, and as you're following, you see that it's got like big vegetable in its mouth, some sort of tuber, a potato or some sort of root.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And it's got it in its mouth and it's running. You follow it along around the edge of the gate, and it goes around the corner of the manor into a kind of a dark alleyway. And as you do, you see this stoat run up to this cloaked figure, scurries up his arm, and you see it drops this thing in his hand. And this figure kind of just looks at it and kind of turns it around like it's unsure what to do with it.
How tall is the figure? 4 feet?
4 feet.
Can I get closer and try to discern features?
Do you move stealthily, or you just kind of run it up?
I will run up.
So as you move up in your little stoat form, you see this small boy, a halfling child. You see he recoils as you approach, not sure what to think at first, but then recognizes you as a stoat. And he says, "Niles, you found a friend." And it kind of like bends down real low, and he thinks about it, and he kind of rakes off a chunk of this vegetable, and he kind of like throws it at you, and he goes, "It's okay, I love stouts."
Okay, I'll nibble a little bit on it against my better judgment. Now, I climb up on his hand and just start nibbling it a little bit, and not trying to be affectionate, but try to be passive.
As you approach, the other stoat approaches too with a certain defensive kind of stance. Tries to get in between you and the kid. But it's not aggressive, doesn't bite at you, but it gets real close and sniffs the air curiously. And you hear it kind of vocalize for a second. And you being a stoat now, you understand what it says. And he says, "You're not from around here, are you?" A very almost intellectual voice.
Nope, just a little stoat.
In stoat language, you kind of hear a giggle. He goes, "You know, stoat."
Having a straight up stoat off right now.
This is insane. I don't know about you guys. I'm freaking the fuck out.
It seems hyper intelligent. You would normally have intellectual edge on anyone you try to speak to,
Yeah.
because you're smarter than a normal animal. But this thing, whatever it is, seems on an equal par with another human.
I'll say, you're no stoat either.
I'm as much a stoat as Edgar wants to be.
Interesting. I have important stoat business to get back to. I kind of bounce off his hand and just run off the way I came, back to the way weasels run. Pearl, claw, open, man.
Looking like a horse.
That's it.
That's it. You run back to the...
You don't get this.
So after about, 10 minutes, you come back inside, and you guys are, finishing your mead, and Galil, you see that Elara walks back in.
So
A few minutes later. Asimir, you would see it too.
I'll sit back down next to Asimir and I'll say, that was Niles the Stoat, though I don't know what connection you have to him.
Oh, he hates me.
He seems very intelligent for a Stoat.
I mean, how intelligent can a stoat be?
Not very. There was something very off about him. He immediately knew that I was not a Stoat.
Wait, first of all, so you met Niles. Where was he? Was anyone else around?
Edgar.
Edgar? Where was Edgar? He's just a small child.
Yes. He seemed alone. He was in an alleyway, not far from here.
We need to go find Edgar. And if he's alone in here, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, if he's alone, it's very cold. We have plenty of room. We should go and check and see.
I mean, I know our standing with each other's groups are a little... but
Okay,
they
you
don't
know
how
I
did
made it here alone.
Where was he?
He was in an alleyway.
just right outside?
Yes.
Go look for them.
Yeah, and I'll lead them back to the alleyway.
So as you guys walk back around the corner by Elara, you come into this dark alleyway, and as you do, you notice he's crouched in a corner behind some vines and overgrowth, kind of just trying to keep a low profile. And you see that he's got this like uncooked ham in his hand that he starts doing this little, and he kind of goes cinnamon. Starts taking more vigorous bites into this uncooked vegetable. Uriel, you can say this was at the end of the hour if you want. You're coming back up from your game right about this time that Elara's coming back in from the cold.
Yeah.
And you guys are all together now. So yeah, you clearly see it's Edgar. Niles.
I'd like to
Niles.
kind of take a little bit of a cautious step forward. It's like, Edgar? Is that you, buddy?
He looks up at you and sees a familiar face, and there's a wash of recognition that comes over him, and then just out of nowhere he starts crying. 4-year-old would.
Oh no, Edgar, what's the problem? I kind of pick up pace and kind of crouch down next to him.
He's blubbering and sniffing, and he's like, "There was an accident. I lost my mom."
Oh no, Edgar. Oh no, is it just you here? How did you get here?
When we were all here, there was a storm, and rocks fell, but then I couldn't find anybody. I just started going up the road where we were going, and then I found my way here.
How long have you been up here? Or how did you beat us?
Well, we've left on the road day before yesterday? Days ago? I don't remember.
Do you want to come inside?
Yes.
Come with it. Are we allowing Edgar to join?
Yeah, I think we need to give her.
I don't know.
He's a child.
Okay, Mr. For the kids.
Obviously.
Yeah, no, come on. We'll get you food. We'll get you what you need.
Take him to the room and I'll bring food up.
Yes, absolutely. I'll go and do that. Come on.
Says, "Oh," he turns around and he goes behind where he was huddled down and pulls out this broomstick and starts walking with you guys. So Uriel, you suddenly realize that the cloak he's wearing is a mantle over a set of robes. He's wearing the same material that you found in that stowaway.
I see.
Edgar was the mage.
Kind of fucked Edgar over a little bit, didn't I?
Hey, he made it through this fight.
That or the dwarf that fell on the sword for him at the
Sold him
gate.
out.
Yeah,
Wow.
good guy dwarf.
The dwarf is probably rotting in Dragon's Breath right now.
As he should.
Yeah, well, you know.
I thought maybe he just like everybody's dead. He just starts.
Break the laws around. This is what we were breeding here.
All this contraband.
Wow. Inquisitors came and they were gonna find the kid, so the dwarf is like, "It's me. I'm the wizard. Take me to jail."
Do. Look what I did.
And and at least at that point when someone's admitting guilt, it's like, all right, well, I guess we gotta go have a fucking conversation with you now.
Yeah.
So that got them through the gate to meet you at the pub that night, but what happened to them, it's been days.
Yeah, I'll take Edgar up to the room, sit him down. He's like, "So Edgar, you are absolutely the only one here."
I hope not. He said, "Mom told me that Fievel needed to come all the way up the mountain. We were going on an extra stop this time."
I buy another stick of mutton and
He's like, "I'm gonna eat until I pass out."
no, I'm bringing it for you, kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I come up and I give it to Edgar and I say, "Well, I think we need to wait until morning. Maybe the snow stop falling so hard and we can find the rest of the party. Hopefully they're not far." I'll crawl into a bed and I say, "Uriel, could you keep our new companion safe? We have another room down the hall."
Yeah. Of course.
I'll shack up with Uriel as well.
That's who we're talking about.
Oh.
Where's it?
Also, you were talking about the Cheeto.
About,
Oh yeah. By the way, I should tell you before I forget again. Practicing magic without like a specific license or anything like that, authority, it can get you locked up pretty quickly. I would try to avoid using it in public spaces as much as possible, unless need be. Such as turning into a little white puffball with horns and walking around, turning back to not human, Eladrin.
It was a muffkin.
Hey, bless you.
Never mind.
Okay.
Why can't I use my magic?
Well, strictly for the fact that people can be scared of it. I am not of one to think magic can be scary.
They should be scared of it.
Yes. But it is also very useful in day-to-day.
Exactly.
So just keep in mind, if any sort of authoritative figure figures out that we've been doing magic in public, where we shouldn't be, you could get thrown behind metal bars.
Ugh.
Exactly, and you wouldn't want that.
The thing is so backwards here.
You feel like a yeast-ox kind of person to begin with.
Well, I'll do what I can.
Yeah, of course, when necessary, go for it. Just, we can probably explain later.
No further explanation needed.
Okay.
Feel a tug on your robe as you say it, and not Edgar looks at you and he says,
Yeah.
Samir, can I stay in this room?
Of course, Galil, that's not going to be a problem, will it?
I'm already asleep.
Okay, of course.
Too much like trying to drink 5 beers and eating too much because I'm asleep.
You just see that as he's over there snoring like logs, frothy mead breath coming out.
As you go to close the door, I pull you aside and I say, by the way, it's not a stoat.
Creature in question crawls across the floor, scampers, and runs up onto the bed, pulls into a little tight ball in Galil's beard.
Galil's beard. Okay. Well, why would you tell me this now that they're staying in my room?
Your idea.
Okay. Well, thank you. You have a splendid night. I hope you'll find what you need as I'm slowly closing the door. Thank you.
People here are so strange.
Indeed. You as well.
Let's patch up for the night. Edgar, you can go ahead and have the bed. I'll go ahead and get my sleeping thing on the floor. It'll be fine.
Bed for Edgar. He hasn't slept in a bed in 3 weeks. Edgar.
As you guys get comfortable, Edgar climbs on his little bed and jumps on it for a minute before getting comfortable and quickly falling asleep. The others go to the other room and make themselves comfortable. Party members already snoring in their respective places. So we're going to end this session.
Righty. Good one today, guys. Actually, yeah.
Oh, Austin's new character.
Pretty insane. It seems very well. A little sassy.
Kind of snobby.
I mean, I wasn't going to say
Kind of
that.
snobby. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Once again, if you like what we do, please leave us a review. It super helps us out. And stay tuned for next time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Coming to a theater near you.
Bye-bye.
Tales will be sung as we share our adventures with friends old and young. So come raise your glass to the heroes so bold in Persephone's Tavern, where legends are told.
It's the end of the show, which means it's time to take a look at the bounty board. This week we have Radical Toaster and Krinko. A humble thanks to them for their continued support. If you would like to support the show and hear your name on the bounty board, find us at patreon.com, search Persephone's Tavern to learn more.